Good morning and welcome back to the Morning Huddle, your daily dose of change experience. I'm your host, Stef Simich, and today is Focus Friday. And this is where we take the theme of the week and we apply it to how you can have personal and professional growth. So, the theme of this week has been getting to know who the Morning Huddle is. And so that means who I, Steph Simich, am as your host. And so, for Focus Friday and talking about personal and career development, I want to talk about specifically, what I have done to elevate myself into the positions that I've had over the last 10 years to really help me become an expert in this principle of change experience. So, the biggest thing that I have done is I really learn about the business itself, any business I'm in, and how does that business make money? Who are the customers or the clients? Who are the individuals that we are targeting? Because we need to know who and what we're targeting to understand where the money comes from. Now, why would I always want to focus understanding where the money comes from when it comes to career development? When I talk to people who make decisions in a business, each of those people who make decisions in the business are charged with the responsibility to make decisions that are financially viable. And so every time that a person in charge is asked a question, they have the responsibility at that time to answer it in a way that will help the overall business make money. And so, whether you're asking for a raise, you're asking for more supplies, you're asking for additional headcount, you're asking for additional resources, vendor partnerships, whatever it is that you're asking for, there is a dollar amount attached to that. And so the best way that I have grown is by understanding where our money comes from, because every request that I make is tied to how money is going to come in from that. And I know that that may sound icky for some people, especially if you're in a nonprofit or if you're in a healthcare industry. That may sound super icky. Very different if you're in a banking or sales industry and it's, very clear that that's where your money comes from. But at the end of the day, for you to find professional success, especially here in the US in capitalism, you have to be able to know how to communicate and what you're asking for and how that correlates to money. So, some of the biggest and easiest ways to connect this are if you are asking for an increase. I always talk about how compliments aren't compensation, and just because you're getting accolades does not mean that you're getting all the benefits that you should in your role. So, when talking about an increase, you always are. I have always come in and said, "Hey, over the last year, I have served X amount of individuals, and this is the money that has come from that." So whether it's me as an individual serving customers and clients, and then the relationship I have with those customers and clients give us money, or if it's I'm leading a team who serves as customers and clients. And so that's like literally the biggest thing that I've done when it comes to having professional development is I can articulate very quickly how our company makes money and how what I'm asking for is not going to detract from that. So even if and I need money now because I need a head count, when I ask for that head count, I'm going to say this person joining the team will equal 4% more profitability over the next year because they can do X, Y, and Z, which directly makes us more profitable. When you give your decision maker that kind of information, it's a lot easier for them to say yes without coming back with a lot of questions. And if they aren't the final yes, that gives them the tools that they need to advocate on your behalf. So, absolutely, number one thing I recommend to everybody if you want to have any sort of professional growth at all, understand how your company or your industry makes money, is profitable, and talk to that when you need anything. Now, I do want to talk about the nonprofit side of that with this is if you are in a nonprofit, how a nonprofit works is there's not like a private equity group reaping the rewards from that. But for a nonprofit to be successful and continue serving whatever mission it's serving, they have to make money. Like money has to come in to pay for your salary, to pay for marketing, to pay for all of that kind of stuff. Now, does that money come in from volunteers? Does that money come in from donations, or does that money come in from the services that you're offering? That I can't speak to in your specific industry, but that's one thing I want to change your mind on. Oh, I work for a nonprofit, so money doesn't come in. Well, I'm going to encourage you to really look more into what the services you're offering and seeing that money is coming from somewhere. So figure that part out. The second biggest thing I've done to have professional growth and development is really keep my imposter syndrome at bay, which might be funny, as that is exactly what sparked the week of this episode, is that I was struggling so bad with my imposter syndrome. But fortunately for me, I only allowed it to take control over 2 weeks, 2 weeks of my processing, but I was able to overcome that. And here we are, another week of the morning huddle done, and just more rapport built with you guys as the listeners. So, just truly understanding that the imposter syndrome is you, and it's the negativity that you're saying to yourself. And unfortunately, nobody in this planet can help you overcome the imposter syndrome other than you. So ways that I do that is I do it scared. I share the idea in the meeting even though my voice is shaking. I record my episodes even though I wonder if anyone's going to see value into who I am. I do everything I do in my life scared, because I would rather try it scared than not try it at all. And so when the imposter syndrome voice in your head is telling you that you shouldn't be in the meeting, you shouldn't have a seat at the table, I want you to pull that chair up, that rickety chair making all that noise, even if you're scared. And I want you to sit there or stand or throw the table on its end for all I care. I just want you to do it scared, because that's what I do. And the last thing that I do, just giving you a personal taste into who I am when it comes to professional development, is I network. I network like crazy. And this is a word that I have not really said, and I've really pushed to the side, and I haven't prioritized until the last 100 days or so. But I send people my episodes and I ask them for their feedback. When I'm building a new concept for a job, I pilot it with people that don't even work there, that know the industry. I am open and honest with what I struggle with the people in my life that are in the industries that I support, so that I can learn from them, grow from them, and then use that information to just help me grow more and more. So, by understanding how companies, make the money they do, I can have professional development by being able to ask for my wants and needs in correlation to that money. I work my ass off to keep my imposter syndrome at bay, even though it's not perfect. And I network with those around me. I use the people and their experiences around me to create change everywhere that I am. And so this has been the week of the Morning Huddle, where we have talked about who I am, your host, Stef Simich. And now my goal is, after learning about what the Morning Huddle is and who the Morning Huddle is, that you are ready to learn how to do the work that the Morning Huddle is challenging you with, so that you can truly create experiences that ignite sustainable, lasting change. I absolutely believe that you can do this. I believe that we are building a community today that is going to flip the corporate industries on their head, and we are going to be disruptors in our own industries. And I believe all of this is possible. So, until next week, this has been the Morning Huddle, and I'm Stef Simich, your host. And I'm just here with a reminder that change starts with each and every one of us. Are you ready to experience the change?